Obama's moving to the left. That's a foolish move. He didn't learn from the master politician Bill Clinton, who not only was smart enough to see what happened during midterm losses, but he became a very shrewd Machiavellian politician in many other ways. Look how successful he is. Again, I don't disagree with everything that the man says. I said even a stopwatch is right twice a day, and I believe Obama's right in wanting to bring back at least the Glass-Steagall Act. Taxing the banks, no. Glass-Steagall, yes. I want regulatory overhaul. I want a firewall between banks and investment banks. I want a firewall between savings banks or commercial banks, let's put it that way, and the Gonoffs in the business there called hedge funds. You talk about a business that nobody understands, even the people running it. They want to play Russian roulette with their money, go ahead. I don't like them playing Russian roulette with my money or taxpayer money. That's what blew us out under Bush. Bush let them do anything. You know, Baba Boo, Baba B, what's his name? Paulson, do. The man engineered it all, came from Goldman Sachs and rewarded his friends. I have nothing against Goldman nor Sachs. I don't even know them. They're very smart men. They know what they're doing. But they need constraint. They need regulation. The little people need to be protected from them. In other words, they're so smart at what they do. You hear what let me say it to you again. These guys are so smart at what they do that we need protection from them. Does that make sense to you? In other words, there are people who are so rapaciously intelligent and greedy that they don't know how to stop, that the government has an obligation to protect us from them. If not, we wind up with another collapse, and the next one might be even more catastrophic. Now, the government needs to stop spending money. It needs to start cutting jobs. I'd rather pay unemployment insurance than fat salaries and pensions. How's that? Does that work for you? You'll say, oh, if you fired 100,000 government employees, it'd be on the unemployment rolls. So what? It's cheap. Give them 52 weeks of unemployment. It's less than the pensions that they're scamming, and less than the kind of salaries they get. If you ever saw what kind of money but don't limit it to that. Let's look at city government. Do you know how many people in the city of San Francisco make over $100,000? I can't even count the number. You go to little hick counties like Marin County, backwaters like Marin County, little hick counties like Marin County. Everyone's so sophisticated. You got people in this county who take down over $100,000 in pensions, and then they run away to North Carolina after they retire from this state to hide because they know what they did to this state to get that kind of money. And I say there should be a categorical cutting of pensions across the board. No, I didn't say in the military. I didn't say in the police. Don't get me wrong. In city government, state government, and federal government, all pensions should be cut by 10% overnight. I don't care what you think about it. Why? Because we can't afford it. And unless we cut all pensions by 10%, we're liable to go bankrupt altogether. You want to see the dollar rise? You want to see faith in the dollar restored? All pensions are hereby cut by 10% in federal, state, and city and local jobs. Oh, they'll scream bloody murder. Unconstitutional, I'm suing. How dare you, I worked all my life. Well, that's all well and good. Who's going to pay for it? No one can afford it anymore. These deals were written by your unions when there was nothing but money because of the fake hedge funds creating fiduciary instruments that were creating false profits in the sky. That's my opinion. And I'm the only one in the conservative media who understands this. How? I don't understand how these people who make so much money are so ignorant of finance. The only answer I have for the ignorance that's coming out of the conservative media on this issue of regulation of the banks is that many, I hate to say it because then you take the wrong, I'm not an elitist, but I do have a very, very, very good education, lots of high degrees, and it made me study things. The only reason for an education is it teaches you to study things. Let's put it to you that way. Let's forget waving degrees around. I'll put down the degrees because it intimidates a lot of you. It made me study things so I can read things in great detail. A degree is rewarded for reading a lot of material in a certain specific field and writing a thesis or a dissertation that is acceptable to scholars in your field who publish it or accept it. And it makes you focus on the facts, and it makes you be able to hold on to a lot of information and sort through it. Why does a doctor go to medical school for so many years and then go into training beyond that? In other words, what is it all about? I mean, anyone could be a doctor. Take an illegal immigrant, give him a stethoscope, and he can go into a hospital and give out a pill. Does that make him a doctor? No. So what do you need a doctor to go to medical school for so many years to become a specialist? Because they need to learn how to focus on specific areas of the body or specific medical areas of organ complaints and become experts at that particular organ or that system and the medications that might or might not help. Okay, so you can understand why you need specified knowledge to become a certain kind of doctor. Well, I think it's the same thing in conservative politics. Unfortunately, we do not have educated people. By and large, we do not have educated people in the conservative media. What we have are the equivalent of illegal aliens who jumped in from spinning discs into politics. They've gotten away with murder, and they think that they're geniuses because they make so much money. I have nothing against money. I have nothing against their success. But when it comes down to reality here, you better watch out who you're listening to, whether they be the morons on MSNBC who make it up as they go along, or the idiots, I'm sorry to tell you, in the conservative radio business who are just spewing idiocy. We need regulation. I can guarantee you, I know